performance, everybody. This is Joshua Thomas, opera singing sensation from Houston, Texas. Joshua, welcome to the show, my friend.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
Man, I gotta drop my voice like that. Is it deep enough to sing bass?
Oh, there you go, right there.
So Joshua, first I want to ask, so what got you into singing? I know you said you started in the church. When did you realize that you had a gift?
So yes, I started in the church. I remember all the hymns from the church, listening to the piano, to the tambourine, to the choir. But it wasn't until sometime in middle school, when I'd been in choir for some years, that I was like, oh, I got a little bit of a voice. I can hold a tune. And I hadn't done anything solo at that point. I'd only done choirs.
And so your voice actually dropped at what age?
That'd have been 13 or 14, my freshman year of high school.
Okay, so it dropped into a bass. I just want to know, it's really fascinating to see a young African-American man who's 21 years old who chose to sing opera. So why opera?
So in high school, I went to the High School for the Performing and Visual Arts. So for those 4 years, they had trained me for classical voice. So in my senior year, lots of people have been telling me, you got a good voice, you should go into radio. People have said you should go into opera. So I was considering both of them for college. And I listened to some famous people sing opera that were bassists, that were African-American as well. And I was like, if they could do it, then I think I could do it as well. So that motivated me to go ahead and do it. And here I'm now at LSU.
So Joshua, what exactly is opera music?
So opera music is, let's see, they call it it's a form of acting on stage. It's not necessarily theater. We call it singing theater because it incorporates the acting from theater along with the vocal techniques needed to carry a voice over an entire hall without any amplification from mics. So it is that art, that's what we call opera.
So if you're not listening to opera, who are some of your favorite artists that you listen to?
Well, personally, I'm an old soul, so I'm young, but I'm an old soul. So I still love Temptations, Earth, Wind, and Fire. So that's what I jam to all the time.
Okay. So when you think about opera, what kind of lessons, life lessons have you learned since you started singing opera music?
It's taught me a lot about being able to self-motivate. You have to be able, it's a very tough industry. You have to have tough skin. It's not easy. So you have to be able to motivate yourself to keep on going, to keep on striving, to want to get better, and to want to constantly improve yourself.
Okay. Now, is there a specific country or city that's the hub of opera music? Because I know you went to perform in Italy, and I'd like to know about that experience. Where is opera music really in high demand?
Honestly, it's pretty high everywhere, but the highest I would say would be in New York at the Metropolitan Opera. In Italy, there's a company, La Scala. That's a very famous company. But honestly, all over the country, you'll find many theaters that have opera. And as far as Italy goes, that was a fantastic experience that I was able to do going into my junior year of college. And they allowed me to sing some houses out there and get those roles under my belt.
And shout out to LSU. You go to LSU. You want to give a shout out to your school?
Yes, sir. Go Tigers. Shout out to my teachers, everyone there. Thank y'all.
I don't want to disappoint you, Joshua. I'm a Longhorn fan, but since this is LSU night, I'm going to go with you on that.
Hey, thank you. Let's get it.
So where do you see yourself in the future? You're 21 years old, graduating from LSU. You're going to start working on your master's degree. Very commendable. What's next for you?
So what's next is achieving that performing career of an opera singer, being on the road 10 months out of the year, traveling city to city, performing at these different venues all over.
Wow.
So that's the goal.
That's great. So I've had a couple people ask, can he sing on the live feed? So is there any way for all the fans out there, you can just drop one bar, one verse?
Sure, no problem. I can do a little something from Old Man River. That's a classic for bassists. There's an old man called Mississippi. That's the old man that I like to be. What does he care if the world's got troubles? What does he care if the land ain't free? Old Man River, that old man river. And they just keep on going and going along.
Hey, man, bravo, bravo, bravo. I know your family is extremely proud of you. How can people follow you and keep up with your progress in opera?
So on Instagram, my handle is joshua.thomas14. And on Facebook, it's my name, Joshua Thomas. So that's be the best way to follow me. Also have a YouTube page, Joshua Thomas as well, that I upload videos to.
And Joshua, do you want to give a shout out to anyone tonight, possibly who has motivated you or inspired you throughout your journey that you wouldn't be where you are today without this person?
It has to be definitely my entire family, the entire community, Third Ward. There ain't a bunch of people out here singing opera from Third Ward. So
Third Ward.
Yeah, Third Ward, Houston. So shout out to all my family that's been supporting me since day one. Love y'all.
That's great. Well, everybody, this is Joshua Thomas, opera singing sensation from Houston, Texas. Goes to LSU, getting ready to start his master's degree. Big things coming for Mr. Thomas. We'll be looking out for you, Joshua. We're going to go into his second performance. Put your hands together. Comment in the chat section, Joshua Thomas.
Non sarete nella prima né l'ultima, guardate. Questo non libro è tutto pieno di nomi di sue belle. Ogni villa, ogni borgo, ogni paese è testimone di sue romanesche imprese. La mia Callo è questo, delle belle che amo il cuore mio, perché callo è cosa Dio, se vate, leggete con me, oh se vate, leggete con me. In Italia 640, in Lamma 231, sento in Francia che
This game changer is a multi-talented performing artist specializing in poetry and music.